All right. GW, leaving Boston. Penelope, you happy? No? Kira's super happy. She's going whale watching today. So, anyways, been a great fun at Boston.
In 0.1 miles,
and
keep left, and then
you know,
turn left.
Coming back, hon?
Coming back where?
To Boston again.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, not right away, obviously.
A little expensive, forewarning. You got like...
A lot expensive.
Yeah.
Keep left, and then turn left.
All right, so. But anyways, it's been a great adventure. We'll talk to you guys soon while we're whale watching. See ya. Are you being a grumpy face? Is this too early for you?
Through the water. She does do 75-minute harbor tours, and she's part of the Captain Jon fleet. So if you want to learn more about Plymouth Harbor, then I can tell you today. You can take a ride on the Pilgrim Bell. You're also going to see the Captain Jon and Son 4. This is our Plymouth to Provincetown ferry. They take people from Plymouth right over the tip of Cape Cod, and they let you skip all that traffic and have a nice boat ride over. They leave about 10 o'clock every day, and they come back around 6. Now on the far side of the pier, you'll see a big wooden boat. This is the Mayflower 2. She's a replica of the original Mayflower that brought the Pilgrims here to Plymouth. Now she is a gift from the people of Plymouth, England, to the people of Plymouth, Massachusetts. And she did mimic that same journey across the Atlantic. It took them 11 days shorter this time though. It took them 55 days instead of 66. As we make our way around the tip of the beach, you'll also see we have a big sandbar that's off the right-hand side. This is called Brown's Bank, and this is pretty much the emptiest you'll ever see it. If you came on a weekend day when low tide is in the middle of the day, you'll see hundreds, sometimes thousands of boats out here trying to enjoy the bank. Now, as we make it through our harbor here, you're also going to see a lighthouse that sticks out of the water. You'll see it on our right now, but we're going to turn and we're actually going to pass it pretty closely on our left. This is called Duxbury Pier Lighthouse, but a lot of people call it Bug Light, and I'm saying bug like an insect. This lighthouse marks a shallow area behind it that also happens to make a great habitat for lobsters. Lobsters have the name bugs because they look a lot like insects. So the lighthouse where you can find lobsters got the nickname Bug Light. Directly behind us is 6, directly off the right hand side is 3 o'clock, directly at the left is 9, and we throw in all the numbers in between. So for example, at 6 o'clock you can see a sailboat going across the channel. Over at 3 o'clock you can see a building that has a bunch of smaller white ones in front of it. That's the make sure you're walking if you're going side to side.
Ready?
He is huge. Look at him.
So coming up again.
Ready?
It looks like I'm gonna go right back down. So since our humpback whales are here to eat as much as they can, what they do is they have different ways to trick fish into schooling together. So they know that the fish...
Oh, what's up?
Oh, big breach over there on the right-hand side.
Told you, Carol. Told you.
Ooh, doing it again. Big breach there. Right at about 3 o'clock. So keep your eyes here off at about 3 o'clock. We'll see if the whale does it again. So this behavior is called breaching. It's where they jump out of the water.
Penelope.
Oh!
also coming up
Oh
off
my
the left-hand side here.
gosh. Oh, she's gonna come back up.
You can follow that green in the water.
on green.
This whale also blew bubbles, so that changes the color of the water here to that bright green color.
Oh!
Let's see up for two from here.
Oh, look how big! There's like 3.
I think swimming towards us.
Look at that, Penelope. You got a front row seat, baby girl. Baby girl, you got a front row seat.
Oh my gosh, ready? Look at that.
So keep your eyes right here at about our 9 o'clock. These whales are heading towards you.
Oh my
It's a
God.
group of them.
Oh my
Follow the
God.
green in the water. Looks like they might make a little bit of a turn. Make sure you're holding on. We're going to run side to side.
I can obey that.
Oh my god.
So coming up again here. You see that tall wall, make sure you're holding on.
Hold on.
He is huge.
Are you videoing?
Oh my gosh, ready? Here he comes. Here he comes. Look at his belly!
So you're really getting a good idea of how
Oh, I
big
got
these
his
animals are.
belly.
This is a beautiful lake. Looks like on a back and dive down.
He's diving.
Oh, look at him. Oh!
So bring it in,
No,
tail
you're
out of the water.
fine. You're fine. He's showing up. Oh, hold on.
There's a balloon.
As much weight as possible. And so in order to do that, it's trying to eat a lot of food, but it's also trying to conserve its energy. Any of these active behaviors take a lot of energy, a lot of calories to do. So whatever their meaning, it must be important. We're just not quite sure what that meaning is. This behavior you're seeing is called inverted lobtailing. This whale is actually on its back. This is the underside of its tail, and you get a good idea of how big and powerful that tail is. So she's just smacking the surface over and over and over again. So now it's rolled over. It's now how you would expect it to be swimming and still bringing its tail up and down.
Penelope, do you see that, baby girl?
So you can see this whale we might interpret its behavior as being agitated or upset, but we actually have no way of knowing why they do this. There's a couple of different theories. One is that it makes a really loud noise for us here on the surface. Noise travels even further in the water. So this is a message maybe to other whales in the area. Just make sure you have your feet on the deck, please. Make sure you're not standing on benches. Thank you. So again, this is called lobtailing. Another thing it might be doing is sometimes they try to knock off some parasites. Oh, looks like she's gonna roll back over.
Come on, Penelope.
There's the underside of her tail. And there seems to be some whales who are trying to interact with them. They don't want to. Then they'll get agitated. Keep in mind too that there's a whole lot of this whale's world that you're not seeing. Also a whole lot that you're not hearing. These whales mostly talk and listen. Their eyesight isn't that great when you're on the boat. There's not a whole lot to compare things to size-wise. This is a full-grown adult female whale, and her tail is about 15 feet across. It's so strong because it's pushing a 50-ton animal through the water all the time. So this tail is incredibly powerful. Coming up again here. So coming up again here. Now oftentimes we'll be with the whale for a little bit before we get to see the bottom of the tail. We've seen plenty of this whale's tail. Looks like it's got pretty clear.
He's gonna breach again, Penelope. Watch.
Watch
He's
him
coming.
jump and then make us wet.
Now for our humpback whales here, we can not only tell you that they're a humpback whale, we can actually tell them apart as individuals. So coming up here about 9 o'clock. So by looking at the underside of these whales' tails, like you've seen when she was lobtailing or inverted lobtailing, you'll see it had this black and white pattern. That black and white pattern is actually unique to each individual. So these ones have been studied since the 1970s, and we have a catalog of a couple thousand different individuals. Of course, they're not all still alive, but it's a way for us to be able to track them throughout their lifetimes.
Look at that boat getting so
We do give whales names, but usually they're just words that kind of sound like nonsense. We don't want to give them numbers, those are hard for us to remember. So there's usually some marking on the undersides of their tail that remind us of a word so they get that name, and it helps us be able to communicate about them better. So I would like to introduce you to our friend here. Her name is Milkweed. We know she's a female because she's had calves before. She doesn't have one with her this year. The mom and calf we saw previously, that's Dross and her calf. And so by being able to have names for them, it means that when we're talking to this other whale watch boat here, we can say, hey, we have Milkweed over here. She's doing lobtailing and inverted lobtailing, and she breached a couple of times. It also helps us as scientists be able to keep track of them. So we've seen Milkweed already previously this year. We see her most years. Our humpbacks come back to the same areas that their mom showed them to find food. So not only is giving them names fun, but it also helps us learn a lot about them by being able to track them year after year. It helps us know, most importantly, how humans impact them. The top threats for these whales is getting entangled in fishing gear and getting struck by a boat. Both of those instances leave scarring on them. And so by being able to track them throughout their lives, we can see if they acquire any of these injuries. So this is Milkweed here. Her flippers you'll see are that brilliant white color. They do look green in the water. Now inside each flipper, since whales did evolve from land mammals, they do have the same bones that you have in your hand and your arm. You'll see her belly has some white coloring on it as well that helps her camouflage in the water. And if you're looking towards your right and you see kind of the yellowish stuff under the water, that's her chin, and those are barnacles that are attached. Barnacles will attach to whales in order to ride along, be able to filter their food out of the water.
Oh, flap your tail. Flap your tail. Oh, yes.
You think, honey? How about it, huh? Now worth all the ride out here?
So it looks like still being pretty active here. Now, since Milkweed is a female and she doesn't have a calf with her, there's always the chance that right now she's pregnant. We just don't have any way of knowing while they're currently pregnant. Scientists are working on different ways to try to test that out. So one of those ways is that they have a special ferment to get closer to the whales, and they have basically this almost like a sponge on a stick. And they put it above their blowholes, and when they breathe out, it collects some of that
It's upside down.
blow. They can then test it for different hormones, including pregnancy hormones. Of course, this is difficult to do, and you can't get a whole lot of samples, and a lot of them don't turn out. So mostly we just wait till the next year to see if they bring in calf.
Yeah, I can see it on the other side of that boat.
Yeah. Right next to the cargo ship, but the cargo ship.
This one here just wants to put on a show.
Yep. Smokey is like, he's like the king of the sea. The queen of the sea.
We can capture them. They're
So you'll notice again that her flippers
1080p,
are
so we'll be able to
bright white.
capture.
If you were to go whale watching on the west coast, you wouldn't see that the tops of the whale's flippers would be white. They're actually dark. So they think that it involved some way to catch their food. Anything white in the water does change the color, and it scares fish together. The fish that we have whales on the west coast, they think that white doesn't scare their fish together in the same way it does here, so it's not really beneficial for them. So it's white flippers. So Milkweed's still on her back now with both of those flippers coming out of the water. Now when they're swimming, for the most part, their power comes from that tail in the back. They can swim forward with their flippers if they need to, but for the most part they use those for steering. Since their flippers are so long, it allows them to be able to do those tight circles in order to catch their food.
Penelope, look here.
It
Penelope,
allows
turn
them
around.
also to
Penelope.
do some of the acrobatics that you've seen.
Got it, got it.
And I want you to also keep in mind that while this is really cool to see, this whale would be doing this whether we were here or not. So we don't like it when people say that they're putting on a show for us or anything like that. This is what these whales do, even if people aren't there. Ooh, that was a good one. So again, each of these flippers is about 15 feet long on a full-grown adult. Now you'll see that ourselves and this other whale watch boat are taking turns. And our captains are talking through the radio to coordinate our sightings. Captain Jon is proud to be part of a program called Whale Sense. It's for commercial whale watch companies like ourselves and the New England Aquarium. And it means that our captains and naturalists do training each year to make sure we whale watch as responsibly as possible. We want these whales to do whatever they would be doing whether we were here or not. And so we do follow some guidelines in order to help us do that, many of which you've already seen today. We go into an area slowly that we know has whales, we'll leave slowly. We give whales some space. We make sure that we only approach them from the side or behind, never from the front. If there's a mom and her calf, we make sure to give them space and make sure not to separate them. So coming up again here. Now on Milkweed's belly, you can see she has these stripes. These are called pleats, and they extend from her chin all the way down to her belly button. And this allows when she feeds and she takes a big mouthful of water and fish that they can expand to accommodate all that water, and then it's like a rubber band. You can stretch it and then it'll go back into its normal size. Same thing for these whales and their throats. So we are running low on time on today's whale watch, so we're going to let you enjoy these last couple of minutes. Milkweed is still here up about 2-3 o'clock. The mom and calf should be around here as well. We just haven't really been. Oh, they're right there at about our 1 o'clock. So it looks like mom over there is feeding.
You don't want to squeeze in because I'll lose my kids.
So this is our mom and calf pair here. Mom's on the right, calf is on the left.
And I was taking the videos. There's a baby right there.
So there's our calf. Mom's just ahead.
Penelope, can you see the baby? All right.
That's your gentle.
It's your stomach.
Are you happy, hon?
So we are going to start slowly walking around with the boarding photos. Looks like Mom and Cap here on the left.
They drove down and came around.
So she'll be walking around with those boarding photos as well as flash drives of pictures of the whales from today's trip. So if you want to see any of that, you can visit her on the way home. She'll walk around to you. As always, our galley or snack bar is open, so if you need anything to eat or drink, or you need a break from the sun, you can go visit the folks down in the galley. Other than that, if there's anything we can do to make your trip home more enjoyable, just flag a crew member down and let us know. So it looks like Mom and Calf here